Well, welcome to this very special event tonight. And isn't this really cool to be right here in GAPS for the first time as a big group, I think, checking out all of the artwork in the galleries, but also being in this auditorium. It's a pretty beautiful place. I think you'll agree with me. And what a great night to be out to celebrate, because I know we've all been cooped up with the snow and the cold weather, and it's nice to get out and be around people again and just have a little toast and be a little warm and jovial and cheerful and happy about good things going on in our community. There's really a couple big reasons that tonight is so special and extra exciting. First, I don't know how many of you realize this, but this event is being simulcast from here over to the Abe Lincoln. And I don't know about you, but I never remember that ever happening here in Little Berks County. So I want to say welcome to all you fans over there at the Abe Lincoln from over here at GAPS. It's pretty cool. And thank you to both of the institutions, the Abe Lincoln as well as GAPS, Laura and Peter, as well as Alan and his gang over there for doing this tonight. Second big reason and exciting reason is we get a chance to see this beautiful gallery who the owners have been working very hard to give Fifth Street its swag back. And I think they're doing pretty well with that. I think you'd agree with me. And then talking about swag right down the block, you get to see the historic renovations that are going on at the Abe that Alan Schumann and his group are working on. And that's bringing a lot of swag back to Fifth Street. And then lastly, the reason we are gathered here today is there's a special announcement from our friend Dan Clauser, part of Berkshire Baseball, on the next step in creating a megatropolis of sports here in the greater Reading area. It's funny, you know, knowing Dan, don't know where he is or where he went right now, but Dan has a lot of ideas. I don't know how well all of you know Dan, but he's always coming up with great ideas. He's very inspirational and visionary. I listen patiently to what he's thinking and sometimes agree, and sometimes I know when he thinks about it, in a week or two he's going to come back and he's changed his mind. So tonight, when he said he was holding this event, I thought, okay, oh boy, you're going to do this in a few weeks and get it together and make it happen. But I said, well, what are you going to be talking about? And he said, oh, no, you're opening the event. I said, I'm opening the event. What the heck? Why? Because I thought, it sort of stopped me dead in my tracks. He said, well, you got me into this mess. And I looked at him and I said, I did? What do you mean? Well, he is a member of the board of the Greater Reading Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I happen to be the director of the Visitors Bureau. I'm Crystal Seitz. He said, well, you know, I learned from you that tourism and sports are really big here in the area, and the significance it had in economic impact to the greater Reading Berks County area. So that gave him the impetus and the credence to take Berkshire baseball and crank it up a notch, and that's Dan. He challenged his management to build upon the tournaments that come in, and then that led to the fields that he worked with on behalf of the county. And then he took it even a little bit bigger and better. And I'm not going to tell you what that is because you're going to hear about that tonight. Honestly, I don't know if you realize how lucky we are to have Berkshire baseball here in Berks County. They bring into our area each year a minimum of $5 million in economic impact. And that's just a minimum. That's from a few years ago when they just started with a few teams, a few tourneys, as they like to say. So when he heard about the size of the impact for the area, he started to build on that and thinking and thinking and thinking. So it became like a snowball rolling down a hill and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm glad that I, for one, gave that snowball a little push. I really didn't have much to do it, but a little inspiration at least. Because what we all need to know that everything that Dan does and his group is for the good of all of us. It's for the good of the community, the people that live in Berks County, and most of all for the youth that we all cherish and want to see grow and prosper here. So with that said, I'd like to invite one of Dan's other friends up, Tony Reese, from the People Academy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here, first of all, and then also to speak. Let's see, how do I put this? My history with Berkshire Baseball is rather short. It's been about a year and a half since I have been introduced to Dan and some of the players, the board members, and some of the board members' wives and the players' wives. And that is through podcasting that Dan Klauser is doing with Berkshire Baseball. He comes into my studio and he tells stories. Now, for me, I can talk about, sports, and I really can't, so I'm not going to. So I see it from another side. What I have seen is leadership, passion, integrity, heart, and I have witnessed this every single time he is in my studio. Just recently, I had Dan and his wife in to do some storytelling that you will hear their stories after this event. And I can tell you what an honor it is to sit in front of this group and witness the emotion and the just absolute passion for this community and what they want to do and are doing for the youth in this community. And it is amazing to see. It is humanity on display. And everyone who has been involved, that has come in and told their story, it has been absolutely humbling. So I can tell you from my little corner of the world, where these stories go all over the world, Dan Klauser, the coaches, the board members, the players, everyone involved in this organization, I am honored to tell their story, and I am honored to tell you that it is filled with integrity, and I am thrilled for them for what they are doing tonight. So I thank you, and I thank you, Dan, for being as authentic as you are and filled with integrity as you are. And what I witnessed the other day with you and your wife, I hope that everybody gets to hear that with your story. So thank you so much. Okay, now I would like to invite Commissioner Leimbach up here to tell a couple of stories.
Thank you, Crystal, Tony. Thank you, Dan, and where's Sandy? Sandy Klauser, the much better half of the Klauser team. I think most people would agree with that. Even Dan is shaking his head. Yes. I do want to tell a couple quick stories. One goes back about 6 years. When I became a county commissioner, one of the things I found out about early on was the Berks County Pretrial Services Annual Softball Tournament. And so the first year I played with one of the teams that were there, and in 2009 I put my own team together. We witnessed firsthand the value of the relationship we have today with the County of Berks and Berkshire Baseball. This past year, we were getting ready for the tournament, and it rained almost every day leading right up to that tournament. I know for a fact from previous experience that if the county had still been running that facility, the tournament would have been canceled. Instead, and I'm not sure quite how early, but I understand somewhere between 4:30 a.m. and 5 o'clock, the Berkshire Baseball Group was out there working on the fields, putting the drying agents on the field, and we started about 45 minutes late, and we got the entire tournament in. I was able to point out to members of my team, and all of them have real jobs. We play for fun, and they were amazed at what this organization's been able to do. They also observed in less than a year tremendous improvements to that facility. Now, there are all kinds of catchwords in politics, but I have to recognize my colleague, Commissioner Barnhart, and you're going to hear from him shortly. He played a major role in helping to put this agreement together with our county park system and with Berkshire Baseball. But one of the catchphrases out there today is public-private partnership. And I think often it just kind of rolls off. It's another political plan to trick the taxpayers into paying for something that they shouldn't pay. Well, let me tell you, folks, this is the epitome of what a public-private partnership should be. The county didn't do a particularly good job in managing or running this facility because we're not about sports, we're about government, we're about prisons, a nursing home, and a lot of other things, but not about sports. Secondly, we couldn't justify investment above the base needs and maintenance for this facility. In less than 1 year, they've taken far better care of this facility than the county could have or did. And they've invested in improvements way beyond anything I've seen in the 6 years I've been here as a commissioner. And I close with this story. How significant is that? It's significant enough that an interesting picture appeared in the county commissioner's county news late this summer. And that picture was me in anything but a suit. I think a baseball cap, red Phillies shorts, and a shirt. And I'm talking to Dan Klauser, a photo that incidentally was taken by Jeff Wojtowicz. And that article tells the story of the beginnings of a real beneficial public-private partnership. I'm here tonight to say thank you to Berkshire Baseball and their commitment to the county and what they've done already, and to celebrate this rebranding announcement and looking forward to many, many years of a great relationship with an organization that has the community at heart and is a great partner for the county of Berks. Thank you for being here tonight, and I, like you, am looking forward to the unveiling. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the Vice Chair of our Board of Commissioners and also a very good friend of mine, Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
I am the landlord, and Dan, I'm here for the check. Seriously, folks, as Commissioner Leinbach pointed out, we actually had a peer review of our parks and recreation facilities done prior to our coming into office in, I think, 2006. We came into office and we re-looked at this, and really what this peer organization did were parks and rec directors from various counties throughout the Commonwealth, and they said a county really should concentrate on passive recreation, not active recreation. We really do not do a great job as a county of doing active recreation. So we looked for a partner for the youth recreation fields. We went to Bern Township. We went through another organization, and things really didn't work out. And all the time, in the background was Dan Klauser and Berkshire Baseball, who was one of the major renters of the baseball fields, if not the only renter of the baseball fields. And he came forward a few years ago and said, maybe I should take over this public-private partnership that we started with another organization. And it's been nothing but an absolute success. If you look at his 20-year plan, which now I think is his 8-year plan, which may be his 3-year plan, his dreams are as big as he is. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful asset to this community. And it's not just about running baseball tournaments and bringing tourist dollars into the county. That's all great, but I think it's truly what he does for the youth in this community is the real untold story, and the story that needs to be told, that he's building character and the young men and women in this community, and we need more people like Dan Klauser doing that for us. So we encourage people like Dan and many other people in the community to continue to work toward a bigger and better and greater Berks County. And Dan, it's a fabulous opportunity here, and we really commend you for taking what was an underutilized facility and making it a world-class organization. So thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone that spoke on our behalf today. At this point, Commissioner Barnhart talked about what we do for the youth of Berks County, and we wanted to give you guys a taste of that firsthand. We got Danny McShane here with us, senior at Garden Spot High School, and Jonathan Gottschall, a senior at Governor Mifflin High School. They were two of our scholarship winners this past year, and I asked them on very short notice, so they wouldn't have time to think about it, if they would be willing to read their scholarship essays to the crowd tonight. So Danny's going to lead off, and then Jonathan will follow up. So, go ahead.
Baseball has taught me many concepts of life. If it has taught me anything, it is to be a hard worker, to appreciate the moment, to have a good attitude, and to take your time with things. If you want to succeed in the future, you need to be a hard worker. Baseball has taught me to do that. Like in baseball, if you want that starting spot, you need to work hard. Go to training, get help with the designated workouts. In life, it taught me to get help from teachers, ask help from my friends and other peers. In the job force, you need to prove yourself to the boss by doing the work, staying late, getting in early, and getting work done on time. One of Dalai Lama's quotes was, it is very important to generate a good attitude, a good heart, as much as possible. For this, happiness in both the short and long term for both yourself and others will come. In baseball, when you lose a game or make an error, you get yourself down. Once that happens to you, it will reflect down on the entire team. Don't let things affect you when there will be other opportunities in the future. When something doesn't go my way, I don't complain, I just do it. When you keep a good attitude in life, you will have more friends and more opportunities. So do your best, keep a positive attitude, because once you've had a good attitude, short and long term for both you and others will come, just like Dalai Lama's quote says. When in life, don't take things for granted. In baseball, it is like when someone drops down a sack bunt and moves the guy over for the next guy, and we score a run from that, and no one from the team says good job or anything. So when someone does something to help you or someone else, thank them, congratulate them. It is easy not to take things for granted, good meaning in. Doing so takes us away from what the meaning really is. Be grateful for the moment given to you, because some can't do the same things you can. So remember that one hit at that one job, task, or that one sack bunt. When coaches say take your time, one pitch at a time, it means slow down and give your all from that pitch to the next every time. Do your mechanics right. So in school, make sure you take your time and answer everything properly. Have confidence in your work and do it with passion. In conclusion, take your time, don't rush through things, appreciate the little things, work hard, and have a good attitude. Baseball isn't just America's pastime or the best sport to play, but to teach you about the certain situations. That is what baseball has taught me.
Baseball has impacted my life in various ways. Playing with many different organizations and listening to the lessons coaches preach about to us kids about life really had an impact on my life, especially playing for Berkshire. I've never been in an organization that taught me that winning is fantastic, but losing is reality. It made me realize that failing is a part of life. Baseball is a game of failure is probably the quote I've heard the most. It means that getting on base 3 times out of 10 is amazing. I would never be able to accept failure if baseball was a game about getting hit every single time. Also, my coach for the fall told us if we wanted to be good at baseball and make it to the collegiate level, that we have to make a commitment. It's not just an interest anymore. An interest is throwing the bats onto the field and letting whatever happens, happens. Making a commitment is working hard and putting in the hours to succeed. Just like in life, if someone wants to succeed at the job they have to put in long hours at the office to succeed in the job they are working on. It also means showing up early and leaving late to make sure everything is done to the best of one's ability. Baseball impacted my life like none other. I have made so many friends, and I've learned social skills I would have missed out on if I never was introduced to this amazing game. Without it, I will forever be afraid to fail and never understand what it means to succeed.
This time, we'd like to bring up the chairman of our board, Jerry Freewald.
I really didn't think Jonathan was paying attention to Shane and I when we were actually coaching him this year, but I'll be darned, he was. And that commitment is a very, very big word, okay? Big is probably going to be the key word to tonight, as you're going to see, very shortly. Dan has a huge, big commitment to this organization, and I'm not so sure he knew 25 years ago, 1989, that I don't know if he had the vision that where we're really at right now, what he did for this community, and what he does for kids like this, and for breast cancer, and for Cups of Compassion, and for the Wounded Warriors. It is just big. It is huge. Anybody that knows Dan knows you can't say no to him. There's just no way. One, he's huge. He will beat the poop out of you, okay? Okay? You just can't say no to him, okay? He's like a big old teddy bear, all right? So whatever he wants, take 200 gallons of water off a field in a weekend, you're there, So he's there so kids can get on that field, no matter what it takes, okay? And that's our choice to be able to help him do that, and we make that commitment to him. Berkshire has done some amazing things the last 25 years, and the cool part about that, it is only just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more things that we're going to be doing for the community, for kids, for different organizations that are out there. I told Dan we're kind of a weird organization because we're a nonprofit organization, but we give back to the community, we give back to breast cancer, we give back to the Wounded Warriors, and we teach kids how to play baseball and how to do the right thing. And it's not all about baseball. That's just this much. That's this much of our organization is baseball. So we were founded on. But when you see guys like this, man, makes you feel really good. Okay?
Okay. With that, we're going to go ahead and show you a quick little video and unveil what the new name of Berkshire Baseball will be for the next 25 years and beyond.
Since 1989, Berkshire Baseball has been making a tremendous impact on our community. What started out as just a few buddies from high school trying to hang on to their glory days grew into something much bigger, more impactful than any of them could have ever imagined. This group of young men grew and matured, started to have families, and they began to understand that the knowledge that they learned through the years had to be passed on to a younger generation. They wanted to share that knowledge through baseball, with their own life lessons and everything that they've been through. To enjoy baseball was the one thing that made everything make sense. It was the circle of life. They understood that the only significance in one's life is the impact it has on others. And they wanted to make a difference. And what better way to make a difference in a child's life than to play a game that teaches you that there are big things on the horizon. Big things in the game, but also off the game. Helping others, like Cups of Compassion. Helping people that are less fortunate, that may not be able to eat a meal every day, get something warm in their stomachs. Berkshire Baseball does this, and they help thousands of people with Cups of Compassion, but they also help get equipment to third world nations in Latin America. Things that we take for granted, like gloves, hats, bats. Kids in third world countries, they don't have the luxuries that we do. And how about a special needs child spending a day getting baseball gloves, baseball caps, lunch, and a total day devoted to teach them the game of baseball, instructing them what it is to be part of a team. It's always been about throwing, catching, and hitting and running. But for these kids, this one day they got to feel special because they were part of something that is bigger than them. And that's the game of baseball. Berkshire Baseball understands this. Berkshire Baseball has always understood this, and they use the game of baseball to give back. They give back in so many different ways, and it shows on the faces of those they serve. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, boy or girl. Anyone understands what being special is and what being needed is. And Berkshire Baseball, it's in their DNA to do that, to give back. They also give back to Breast Cancer Support Services of Berks County, where the kids get to wear pink. And you think, well, a young man might be a little embarrassed to wear pink. But when these kids know why they're wearing it, they want to show it off. They want everybody to know that they are supporting brave survivors of breast cancer. Because after all, a lot of these kids, they have a grandparent or a mother or a friend that are survivors. And some, unfortunately, might have lost someone. So the awareness of this day and raising funds is so much more important than the game of baseball, but it's because of that game where they get to learn to give a little bit of themselves to make sure that others learn. It's just like our service people. Everyone talks about how brave they are, but they come back wounded. So they had a home run derby to honor Keystone Wounded Warriors and to donate the proceeds to their cause. In addition to that, they got to wear camouflage jerseys. Now, some of the younger kids, they might not really understand what war is all about, but they understand what camouflage represents, and they understand what service is. And that's why it's so fantastic that this nonprofit gives back to so many other nonprofits. And they get to learn about what it is that they're donating to and why it is special. And by doing that, they feel special because they're part of Berkshire Baseball. They're part of a game. And sometimes you can look good playing that game in camouflage, especially when it's for a great cause. But Berkshire Baseball doesn't stop there. They have 118 acres of land, and they held a Cap 5K for the Children's Alopecia Project. 100 people walked and ran all over the facility. Baseball games were going on, and brave kids living with hair loss got to run and walk with their friends and family at the Berks County Youth Recreation Facility. It was a special day because it was the first time anything like this was held. And the great thing is, it's not going to be the last. Because Berkshire Baseball will continue to give back. Because like I said earlier, it's in their DNA. So they invite any nonprofit group to come on down. The root has always been Berkshire. And the innovation that it takes to utilize anyone's God-given talent, it's always about the growth of what you can do. And when you grow something, you need to have that vision for that better future that you want to create. That vision is what is in 118 acres of land, because it's really so much bigger than that. It's really all about our community.
And Steve Jobs said, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way that it is, and that your life is to live your life inside the world and try not to get in too much trouble and maybe get an education and get a job and make some money and have a family. But life can be a lot broader than that when you realize one simple thing, and that is that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you. And you can build your own things. You can build your own life that other people can live in. So build a life. Don't live one, build one.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. How's that?
Introducing Big Vision Foundation.
So again, thank you all for coming. Again, this is what this is all about. You did it to me again. Thank you. This organization is so much bigger than baseball. And I didn't want to talk tonight because of this. He likes to see me cry.
About what? About what?
But everything that we do is about these kids and about this community. And when we talk about a big vision, we have a big vision. And we thank you all for coming here tonight. And any way that you wish to help us achieve that big vision, we're more than happy to take that assistance. This is a little bit of a sales pitch. We will be sending some children around throughout the evening. This wasn't really a major fundraiser, but if you believe in what we're doing as an organization, feel free to make a contribution. Enjoy yourself. Those that are here, you can go back and forth between here and the Abe Lincoln, see the music live. Before we finish up here and get that started, we do have some people from Breast Cancer Support Services, Keystone Wounded Warriors, if you guys can stand up real quick. Jeff with Children's Alopecia, he's here somewhere. Those are really, those are the people, the friends that we've gotten to know over the years. We love collaborating with others. There's a lot of people who seem a little bit scared to collaborate. We love it. The more people we can get involved with, the more people that can help us with our vision and we can help them with their vision. That's really what it's all about. So again, I thank you all for coming. Enjoy yourself. Have some wine, have some food, go back and forth and see. We got some great entertainment here tonight, which you can see live. You can see on the video board here with Seeking Home, a local band, and Carolyn Reese and the Drifting Fifth. And we're excited about them coming here and helping us unveil this. And again, those two groups are like family to us as well, and we're happy to have them here with us. And like I said, just enjoy yourself, have some fun, and get to know each other. Thank you again.